at the Scalar School of Technology.
A high-quality educational institution focused on AI is what is needed for the country. That's what we are trying to build here.
We want to be an institute that keeps up with the pace at which the frontier is moving and is hence able to build the ecosystem where you can compete with the MITs of the world.
And I'm very excited to go to your innovation lab.
Right. So here we have a very cutting-edge frontier AI startup being built in the robotics.
This makes you more of an incubator than an educational institution.
They're building a dexterous human hand for robots. It's globally, I think, one of the hardest robotics problem to solve.
And so how much of your time are you spending here at the lab actually building versus maybe in a classroom?
Maybe 20% in the classroom and like 80% over here.
You're spending a lot of time in the valleys. Tell us more about it.
India right now doesn't have the same exposure as the Bay Area does. So that's why we actually commercially started to engage with almost all of the frontier labs. All models that you use today, we're most probably working with them and contributing to improving those models.
How are you building that into the curriculum?
What is happening when Anshuman is meeting a frontier researcher in SF on, say, a Tuesday, we are often able to incorporate that into our curriculum by Friday.
Wow.
Hundreds of SSC students, they are actually building the systems needed to train the AI. That's probably kind of work that's not happening anywhere in the country yet. A lot of work that these 8 startups are doing here probably is at par with the work happening at the frontier of research in San Francisco.
Yes, of course, everyone's talking about job displacement, and then the jury is out on whether we're going to see that in the short term or we're going to reimagine jobs.
The reality is that it will free the software engineers from a lot of grunt work and allow them to do a lot more creative work. A big reskilling shift has to come in. So the old curriculums probably have gotten outdated very quickly. Earlier, probably every year 10% of the curriculum was getting outdated. But in this shift, probably in last few years, 80% of the curriculum has gotten outdated. But a lot of new skills that people need to master, that has to be added in.
If both of you had to delete all AI apps on your phone except one, which one would you keep?
I would keep Claude and I would delete everything else.
Okay. Any task that you've asked AI to do, maybe something wild that you're comfortable admitting on camera?
For rolling out offer letters, I just tell AI to just send an offer letter. Or if there's a meeting coming up, for preparing for the meeting, what to argue and what pointers to put, how to negotiate. I'm bad at all of those things.
The one thing you'll never want AI to do?
I think replace human connections.
I wouldn't want to compete against an AI running a company.
We're here at the Scalar School of Technology with founders Abhimanyu and Anshuman. Founders I've known for close to 6 years now, and it's been fascinating to see your journey and your evolution and your transformation. What a fascinating campus. Tell us everything about what you're doing here. It's a 4-year residential program, right?
Right. The world has entered a very interesting phase.
Right.
Almost like the new industrial revolution. And I think to propel the whole ecosystem, the whole nation to the new world, the cutting-edge technological institutions are the foundation. And that's what we are trying to build here. The way, for example, the Stanford or MIT transformed the West to quite an extent, or Oxford transformed the West. I think a high-quality educational institution focused on AI is what is needed for the country. That's what we are trying to build here.
A high-quality, AI-focused institution, and that's clearly the need of the hour. But what we do know, Anshuman, is that you both now have been building together for over a decade, right? It started with InterviewBit and then transformed into Scalar, and now is again yet another pivot of Scalar as an AI company. Share with us why you think the last 10 years have been so transformative for both of you as well as for India.
Yeah, I think when we started, the thesis was that till now, the way employers would look at talent was through university signaling. You come from an IIT or you come from an NIT and you're a differentiated talent. The more and more we get into the tech age, it's becoming more and more about your capabilities instead of the college that you went to.
Right.
And hence, the university signaling as we go into the future will matter less. What you can do in the real world, what you can build in the real world, that will matter more and more. And that is the whole vision that we've been working with. It's the age of researchers or age of frontier in some ways now. And we feel like it is more important now to create this ecosystem where the institute evolves faster than the world, and most institutes don't, by the way. Like
Of
they're
course,
very, very
I mean,
slow
we
at
always
evolving.
see there's a gap between what is being taught versus what is being practiced in the industry, but that's the gap you're trying to fulfill.
That is the gap that we're trying to fill. Like we want to be an institute that keeps up with the pace at which the frontier is moving, and is hence able to build the ecosystem where you can compete with the MITs of the world. It's a long journey. Obviously, it doesn't happen in year one. It takes its own time. It's its own journey. Like this campus is 3 years old now, so there are bits and pieces you'll see. But I think we're still very, very early in the journey, and like we believe that this institute will outlast all of us, and eventually will become this place which can truly be a center or a hub of innovation.
That's what a founder always wants, institutions that outlast us. But the one thing that we love about AI in Action is that it truly helps you understand what is being built. How is AI changing the world? How is AI changing our startups? And the reason for coming here at the Scalar campus is to get a little bit of a glimpse of that. And I'm very excited to go to your innovation lab and see some of what you were telling us exactly being practiced. How are you actually bringing industry into a campus like this and competing with the MITs of the world? So let's take a look.
Let's do that.
Yeah. This is Lab 1 robotics.
Right. So here we have a very cutting edge frontier AI startup being built in the robotics. They're building a
So hold on, you're saying an AI startup is being built out of here, and this makes you more of an incubator than an educational institution, and I think that's where the magic lies, that you're truly doing cutting edge, tech forward education and expecting your students to build startups.
Right. So I think the way to learn and build at the most cutting edge technology has two ingredients. One, of course, not just theoretically trying to learn by reading a book, but learning by building things. And second is extremely high density of talent.
Yeah.
Right? When a lot of very ambitious, talented people come together, great things automatically happen.
Right.
And how we do that is not only we are super selective with the students who come in with just 3.5% of selection rate.
Your selection rate is 3.5%.
That's right.
That is harder than getting into most IITs, right?
Well, almost.
Yeah.
IITs are little more selective.
But yeah, Stanford or MIT would
but
have
Stanford,
like
MIT
3.5%.
3.5%, yeah.
And the second ingredient is also that in these startups that are being built here, we have some of the best industry leaders building it. So for example, Nexus Species, this is a startup where we are now, they're building this, a dexterous human hand for robots. One of the kind of bottleneck in the robotics is having a human hand that can manipulate things with the fineness with which humans manipulate things.
Wow.
Right.
So that dexterity of robotics is
Transferring
what
the human dexterity into a robot's hand. And that's what they're trying to build. It's globally, I think, one of the hardest robotics problem to solve. Aditya, for example, he is our student from the
Hi, Aditya.
second batch.
I'm Shweta. That's Avantika, my co-founder.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So you're a second year student, right? Tell us about everything about what you're building here.
Okay, so this is V1 of our robot. We want to, and you can see this is the other half. So we have half of it here, half of it there.
Wow. Okay.
And we're trying to build robots that can first work in factories and that can scale like wherever humans are doing like repetitive tasks. You know, tasks like picking and placing, sorting bins, like all kinds of tasks. Yeah. So this is the hand that Abhimanyu was talking about when we said dexterous hand. You can see that it's shaped exactly like a human hand, so that it can operate items the same way that a human would.
And so how much of your time are you spending here at the lab actually building versus maybe in a classroom? So it's a mix of the classroom study and some of what you're applying here, right?
Maybe 20% in the classroom and like 80% over here.
Clearly now we can see why there's such a huge demand, because there's real innovation and real building happening right here.
The best research is coming out of Anthropic and OpenAI and Meta Superintelligence, and not from just a theoretical research lab or an academic institution, right?
Right.
So what really matters is that whatever research you are doing leads to creation of something that have real world impact, that have an applied nature to it as well.
Sure.
And you can build something using it. It's not just a theoretical new construct. I think here with a very high talent density, mentorship of best industry professionals.
Yeah.
And I think most importantly, extremely high talent density of ambitious, tech-inspired students.
Right.
I think, and when you create this environment, I think they are able to do things which are kind of unimaginable. A lot of work that these 8 startups are doing here probably is at par with the work happening at the frontier of research in San Francisco. Probably very few places even in India are doing this.
Yeah.
And I think these ingredients, once you put them together,
That's when the magic
automatically-
happens. That's when you see. Let's see the drones lab now.
Oh, by the way, I just want to plug in. If you have a deep tech founder watching this, we always are open to get more deep tech founders who are doing cutting edge work on the campus. We give space for free. We don't take anything back in equity. It's just we require your presence to be here, which just helps the talent ecosystem here.
And inspire
you-
the students on campus to do really deep work.
Yes, absolutely. And Scalar and Startup Policy Forum are going to be, partnering on our 100 Desi Deep Techs and the 100 deep tech companies that we've identified. We're, of course, going to be talking to them, but this is such a great opportunity. So, yeah, absolutely. For every deep tech founder who's listening in, Scalar is excited to partner with you and have you here on the campus and offer you that space.
Yeah. Bangalore.
Bangalore.
So this is another lab where we have a few
The
startups.
drones, yeah.
Autonomous vehicles in general is a category,
Correct.
and not necessarily in terms of automobiles,
Yeah.
but a lot of different environments. So here students and the researchers, they have been exploring different, application areas where an autonomous vehicle could create a lot of value.
Yeah.
One, for example, is one drone platform that they had been building, rather a swarm of fire incident identification and mitigation.
Right.
So for example, forest fires. An autonomous swarm of drones can keep a watch on a very large forest area, and if there is a fire incident detected, it can take the initial measures to mitigate it even at a very small scale, even before it spreads. Right here, for example, they had been building an autonomous trolley for airports where it can just track you and follow you.
trolley.
That's the one, maybe you want to show that. Prototype of trolley where it can autonomously, using its camera, identify the person who is using this one and just be around them.
Fascinating.
carrying-
So this is the prototype of the...
that's a small prototype they had built.
And this is like to be used in an airport.
Yes, so it has a LiDAR, it has cameras,
It'll follow you
so
around.
it can lock into the person who is using it, and it just
Follow you
keeps
around,
walking
yes.
right next to you.
Yeah, interesting, fascinating stuff. All right, we're now moving into the third lab.
Yeah.
Tell us a little more about that.
Like I think while AI has a lot of potential, but the real unlock happens at the intersection of maybe material sciences, biosciences, and when you leverage AI to create a lot of value there.
Right.
Here, this startup is Laminiska, where they're building something extremely profound and impactful in the space of biomanufacturing space.
Hi, Pushkar.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Shweta. So a lot of innovation going on here. Tell us a little more about.
Yeah. So what we are building is at the interface of digital world and physical world. So the digital world we have seen is moving very fast, but the physical world is still in 20th century. So we are looking at biomanufacturing. The industry has tremendous potential to make medicines and foods and colors and chemicals. But the way things operate there, the way products are made, the way products are developed, that is still stuck in 20th century. And we are bringing the power of AI and digital to see how, if they can be developed 10x faster, they can be made 10x cheaper.
Exciting times. I mean, did you ever think that you'd be building something like this?
I mean, if you see, a probable answer is no, but I would say yes, because since our first year, we have been, interacting with crazy people like Prasanna. We have our own Luminaries Club. So, I always believed in this vision of Scalar Innovation Lab when it was even starting. Incubations were happening. Gahane was the first one.
So clearly, Anshuman, we want to talk about the fact that you are bringing so much of the industry knowledge here with spending a lot of time in SF, and I think we can take some bit of that credit or discredit or whatever you want to call it, because you were on the startup safari with us last September, and that's when it all started, and now you're spending a lot of time in the valley so that you can also try and understand all the innovation that's happening there. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, I think two things, right? Like one is we felt India right now doesn't have the same exposure as the Bay Area does. So hence being there was important. Two is just being there alone isn't sufficient. Actually, you need to work with whoever the frontier is. So that's why we actually commercially started to engage with almost all of the frontier labs. All models that you use today, most probably working with them and contributing to improving those models. And because we're working commercially with them, in a way, there's a pipeline of the most painful problem statements for those model companies coming back to us.
And Abhimanyu, I want to bring you in here. So when Anshuman is sitting there in SF and working with the Frontier AI labs and understanding their problems, how are you building that into the curriculum, and how is his presence there helping scale a school of technology?
Right. No, I think generally what has always happened is that academia has tried to catch up with what has happened in the industry maybe a couple of years back, right?
Right.
But here, ideally what needs to happen is that we should be doing the most cutting edge work.
Yeah.
Which potentially industry can take inspiration from.
Right.
What is happening when Anshuman is meeting a frontier researcher in SF on, say, a Tuesday, we are often able to incorporate that into our curriculum by Friday.
Wow. So you're saying it's that much being built into real time where you're talking to researchers there, you're working with the Frontier AI labs, and you're incorporating some of his inputs into your curriculum already.
And as a matter of fact, not just curriculum, but hundreds of SSC students,
Yeah.
they are actually building the systems needed to train the AI, right? And that's probably kind of work that's not happening anywhere in the country yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably take an example also.
Sure.
Right? Over the last 2 years, if you see, like, coding or software engineering is one aspect where AI has been used so much.
Right.
And that is why a lot of people say jobs would keep going away.
Yeah, there'll be, yeah.
But I feel it's the opposite.
It's very
Yeah, and we'll talk about that because that is an important topic for everybody right now, especially for an education institution like yours that's training talent. Yeah.
Yeah, but like a regular software engineer would probably just use those tools to build something. The work with Frontier AI Labs, however, is a little more research oriented where we get the problem statement of identifying that, hey, these coding models, where are the failure clusters? Which means what are they, what is economically valuable, but the coding models aren't able to do it well. So we identify those clusters, then we figure out what is the approach to train the model so that the models become better on this failure cluster. And this is actually very nuanced work, right? Because in a way, all the models have gotten to a place where basic software engineering work every model can do. It's when you get to really, really complex software engineering problems, that's where the model starts to fail. So if you have to get there, obviously you need to be extremely solid on software engineering yourself, and then you're doing this. So in a way, every student who's working on those kind of problems, they're already, let's say, what an engineer working in the industry for like last 5 to 10 years on cutting edge problems would be doing. If I had time, I would go into the technical depth of like what, let's say, an example problem looks like, and like how by replicating that or creating reinforcement learning on that is super complex, but that's the kind of work, right? And
But I think the big problem that today we are facing is how do you get talent that is AI ready, right? Because what we hear is that, yes, of course, everyone's talking about job displacement, and then, you know, the jury is out on whether we're going to see that in the short term, or are we going to reimagine jobs, or are we going to have jobs? But I think everybody agrees and there's consensus on the fact that the curriculum needs to change, the approach to training needs to change, and we're definitely reimagining what technical education, what AI education needs to look like. Share with us your initial thoughts on how you're thinking about this.
Right. No, I think fundamentally one part is, and if I focus on technical education to begin with, because that's what we do, right? The nature of work for a technologist is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Like while the common, often a layman conversation is about that, oh, is AI going to take away all the jobs of all the software engineers? The reality is that it will free the software engineers from a lot of grunt work and allow them to do a lot more creative work.
Right.
Now, one fact is, however, a lot of software engineers today might not be doing any creative work. They're only doing the grunt work.
So are you saying they're not trained into doing that creative
They're not trained to do the real work that the new world will expect from them. Like what Anshuman was talking about, right?
Right.
That if there's a coding agent, it still fails at probably 80% of the high value work. One, how do you identify those areas? How do you identify those failure clusters? And then how do you build a system to make the agent better, right? That is the new world.
So is it fair to say that when we talk about this entire debate of job displacements, of jobs going away, a lot of the grunt work will probably go away and that will be handled by agents. But a lot of the high value, high order work there will be more demand for that. Right. And that's the need of the hour, which is training.
A big reskilling shift has to come in.
Complete reskilling shift. Yeah. And is that something that you're aiding here? And is that something you're hoping you will be front of center at in terms of reskilling the workforce?
Absolutely. So the old curriculums probably have gotten outdated very quickly. Earlier, probably every year 10% of the curriculum was getting outdated. But in this shift, probably in the last few years, 80% of the curriculum has gotten outdated. But a lot of new skills that people need to master, that has to be added in.
At a time when everyone's grappling with just the sheer magnitude of what this technology is bringing, right? And the opportunity as well as the concerns as well as... So I think the one message that you have for the government right now in terms of seizing this opportunity, especially in the area of reskilling and ensuring that India's talent is industry ready, both for innovation and for the job economy.
Yeah, I think India did a brilliant job when it came to IT services. We are here in Electronic City. When I go around, not only do I find a bunch of IT services companies that were set back in 1998,
right.
I also see an organization here called CDAC,
Yes.
That primarily exists because back then there wasn't enough talent, right? And government said, okay, fine, if there isn't talent, we'll go and fix it.
Sure.
And that's why I built CDAC, right? I feel right now is a very similar opportunity.
Where we need to just accelerate the talent build-up.
It's happening again. It's happening again, and it's a massive opportunity. If tapped well, it could lead to like hundreds of billions of market. It's just about like just tapping into the opportunity. So my message is let's be proactive here. I don't know.
Would you agree with that?
No, 100%. I think the government's support from both the policy and investment side to just create the right talent pool. Because whenever such revolution comes, the biggest unlock is just having created the right talent pool. Bangalore thrived just because it has the largest talent density in the world, right? But now in this new world, we need to ensure that we continue having that kind of talent density for the new world.
Right.
Which we are not there today, but I think next few years, if government pushes with the right policies and right investments, we could again capture that.
And I think it's some of the work that Scalar is also doing. Let's continue our tour. We always like to end AI in action with a rapid fire, especially with founders who are game. And I can see both Anshuman and Abhimanyu are game, so ready for it?
Of course.
Okay. One AI founder you'd love to invite for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to sit across Sam Altman because, I mean, what he got done, I mean, in a way, this was the starting of
Correct.
AI, right? Like, and to be able to like envision something like this was, I had never imagined that we would ever be in this kind of an age. And even when I talk to researchers within OpenAI, I see like AI is a primitive, but like using AI, like to the extent like they're able to use AI and get the work done to whatever level. I can't talk about a lot of that, but that's just very
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we cannot but agree that AI world will be known as pre-Chat GPT and post-Chat GPT, and I think that was in many ways a tipping point and the start. Would you agree, or any other?
No, I think I could also name Elon Musk. While in the AI they are yet to do, but I think his ability to foresee what ambitious things could happen 5 years down the line,
Right,
and double down on that, I think that's pretty inspirational.
Okay, so from founders to the apps, if both of you had to delete all AI apps on your phone except one, which one would you keep? Which one survives?
I think my answer is what most people would agree with. I would keep Claude and I would delete everything else.
Okay, so clearly Anthropic is winning there. Same. Everyone's keeping Claude on right now. Okay, probably Dario is listening to this one.
But yeah, Codex came yesterday. That was pretty strong as well.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of AI is that things could change. I mean, we don't know
keeps changing
if
every
I
few
were to
months,
ask this question a few months later, if you would have the same answer. That's the beauty of the AI world. All right, I think the one question, I think the one task that we will maybe 5 years later look back and laugh and say, oh, at one time humans used to do that. What is that one thing? Type, yeah, okay. So it's going to completely go away. Yeah. It's all going to be
I think also
speech.
manually just writing software. I think people would design things and they would innovate a lot, but I don't think like we'll continue to be writing software the same way we do today. A lot of it is going to be, everybody would be just a manager managing a bunch of SD1s and SD2s. Instead of SD1s and SD2s, you'll now have actual
writing code and reading code. I think that will disappear.
It'll completely disappear, and we'll say that, oh, at one time humans used to do that. All right, clearly changing times. If there's one AI company that you wish you had built, or if you could go back and in time and say, oh my God, I wish I'd built that.
I would say it would be Cursor. Reason being that we have also been in the same space. We write code day in, day out.
Right.
We're running a tech institute. So obviously software engineering or like writing code is very close to our heart. And like this was a writing on the wall that models are becoming better. You just integrate it into the IDE and like build an experience around making software almost go on autopilot.
So Cursor,
yes.
You would agree with that?
No, I think same, yeah. When you have 10 million software engineers visiting your platform every month, why are you not building Cursor?
Right. Well, let's see what else you all will build in an AI world. But I think lastly, I just want to get a sense from you on 5 years from now, how different will the world be in an AI era? What are some of the things that will completely change?
I believe humans will move away from more and more mundane work. And that's the whole point of every revolution that humanity has gone through. The Industrial Revolution took away a lot of labor work that human used to do. Still exists, but like majority of humanity is not doing labor work. I feel this is the equivalent of that, but for mental capacities. You'll be doing more things which are mentally will challenge you. But you wouldn't do a lot of mundane work as you do today. A lot of it will be offloaded to AI.
Any task that you've asked AI to do that you're, maybe something wild that you're comfortable admitting on camera?
Yeah, I have one, so I kind of connected a lot of, in read-only mode, connected a lot of our internal systems, HRMS, financial systems, etc., into an agent and ask it to behave like an auditor and run the full audit and tell me that, where the reconciliation gaps are which need to be addressed.
And did you get good answers?
It gave me fairly, to the point sections that all right, here things are not matching up and you need to maybe get it fixed in the system. And while the audit is going to happen a quarter or two down the line, but my hope is, of course, this year the auditor will tell how good we were, but my hope is that we will.
And you'll get to test your auditor now and how good your auditor is in real time. Anything from you?
Yeah, my use case is relatively simpler. I basically treat AI as my assistant. So for rolling out offer letters, I just tell AI to just send an offer letter. That is exactly the file I actually gave to my first hire in the HR. That look, here is how I have been rolling out offer letters. Or I mean, if there's a meeting coming up, for preparing for the meeting, what to argue and like what pointers to put, how to negotiate. I'm bad at all of those things.
So all the tasks that you don't like doing now, AI can do for you. Okay, as we wrap it up, I know hallucinations are not a big deal anymore, but not so long ago they were. Any hallucination that made you laugh or that made you wonder while you were typing something about yourself, probably?
No, I remember one that, I had asked AI to do some data analytics and give me some insights on, what could boost the revenue quite a bit. And it gave very amazing answer that, here are 3 things and you just do it and it will be amazing. But when I double clicked on it, it had made up all the data because it was not really able to figure out any good answer. So it said, all right, I'll generate some data and basis that give some conclusions. So if
that's
I
the
had
kind of stuff we need to watch out for. Anything from you, Anshuman?
Not that I can recall immediately. I know that we were some of the very early users of AI when it came to developing virtual interviews or integrating into customer support that we have. I remember that a bunch of interviews when we launched didn't go so well because the AI started hallucinating and asking questions which were not related to the topic or would keep deviating from where it was supposed to. But I think we've come
a long way from those times, and it actually wasn't that long ago, but now it just feels that the models are hallucinating way lesser than they did a while ago. Last question before we wrap up, the one thing you'll never want AI to do.
I think replace human connections, while a lot of people say that they chat with AI as if it is a human.
Right.
But I think it takes away, a lot of beauty of the humanity, right? So I think replacing human connection is something I would not expect AI to take away.
I wouldn't want to compete against an AI running a company. Humans are still very predictable and there is a certain amount of rationality in how they behave.
Right.
I wouldn't want to compete against a company which eventually has AI as a CEO.
Running the company.
All right. Nobody wants AI as a CEO as of right now, but who knows in today's times, the way, the speed and scale at which this technology is evolving, where we are going to be a few years from now. But such a fun conversation with both of you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.